and welcome to Colouring with Colourful Crafts. Today is the catch up of over the last week of my Mermay pages, shall I say. I've been working on these. I didn't have a chance to upload yesterday. I've been having a bit of a sort out in my office / art room, so that's why I wasn't around. But now I am back today, albeit a bit late, sorry about that, to show you the pages I've got completed. I think I've got 3 in these. So a page from Mermaids in Paradise by Denise, Klette, and a few from Rita Bermann's, oops, sorry, I've just knocked the camera there, Rita Bermann's Hidden Ocean, a few in there as well to show. And then I believe we'll be into the end of May, so I've got a few more Mermay pages there, and then we'll be into June, and I'm planning for June to do my Troppy June, so it's like a tropical, so anything that fits into like a tropical theme. So you've still got like your mermaids and your turtles and your sea life, and then you have your things like your forests and your fruits and your maybe you know, anything like that. I've actually got a copy of what's her name, my mind always goes blank on camera, but I swear when I'm not on camera I can think faster, of what's she called? Let me just see. Of Carla Lagana's, I think one of her Troppy Goth, I think it's Troppy Goth, one of those books coming. So that will be perfect for what I have planned, and I'll be doing a lot out of there. But anyway, let's get on to today's video. So the first ones I have to show you are from Hidden Ocean by Rita Bermann. This is a very cute little book and I've had a lot of fun with it. So I'll go into the first page, and this one is of this page here. Try and get it on in focus. So this is kind of like to mirror the colours I'd use in this page, and I think that turned out quite nice. I've been having a sort out of my things, so my cheaper pens I've now got up above the camera here on a little shelf where you can't quite see, and I've kind of put them in these really cute little tins that I got offline, and I put them all in like reds and oranges together and greens and yellows, and then I've got my blues and my turquoise and my pinks and my purples and my lilacs. So I've kind of colour coordinated them. It looks much better than having them all in this big tub here, which I've had in like the side and forever. So I'm kind of changing up a bit of how I've presented things. So I've been kind of doing a lot of that, which is why I'm late with this video. Anyway, back onto this. I use a lot of my Aqua Spectrum Noir tricolours for this because they don't bleed through the page, whereas I find most colours do. Even the cheaper colours that you might get from like wherever, you know, Amazon cheap colouring sets do bleed through there, see. But so yeah, and there you go, that's what happens if you see this red part. I think I got confused and used just one of my ordinary pens, and by the time I'd realised I'd already done half of the oval of the circle part here, which has gone very red in the corner. But then as soon as I noticed that, I changed back into the Tricolour Spectrum Noirs, which are exceptionally good for working in this book. But then in doing that, I've kind of, all my ink in these is running out. I don't know if you can see that. That's kind of pretty much near the end of it's barely coming out now, so I've had to purchase some more. Another drama, I couldn't get them from England anywhere on any site, either Amazon, Etsy, sorry, not Etsy, I tried all over, I couldn't find them. I had to eventually go with a website from America and pay about £8 to have them shipped over here, because if you didn't know, and if you're American, you're watching, in England it is getting increasingly hard to try to find like good quality pens like these now, unless you have access to like a big art store. So maybe if you're down in London you might have access to somewhere like that, but we don't up here. I live in the north of England and it's diabolically bad for trying to find good quality pens anywhere. So I've got a pack of those coming all the way from America. They're more well travelled than I am. Anyway, on to the next page. I've stopped waffling on now and we should get to this one. So that one is this one. So I did this. This worked out really nicely. I like the colours I chose and the way I kind of shaded. I did a bit of my, obviously, the Aqua Spectrum Noirs, and then I also went over, I went over the shell a bit with some cheap pencils to give it more of a gradient, but it's worked out really nicely and the colours really make it pop. I'm really happy with that one. So there was those two to show you from there, and then I'll just swap this one over. I'm quite limited for space. And then this one is from Mermaids in Paradise, of course, and the one I did, not that one, it was just a mistake page. I put a thing on to try and help me, but whenever I try and separate them, there we go. And then I've done this one of the mermaid here with the parrot, and I went for quite a tropical kind of colour spectrum, a spectrum there. You know, where the pinks, the blues, the turquoise, very, very, very nice. It worked out really, really, really well. I am incredibly proud of that. And yeah, I had so much fun. And no bleed through. Oh no, sorry, that's what I was going to say. A lot of bleed through because I just went all out with the alcoholic markers, but that's what I love about her books, because they're one-sided, so it doesn't matter. You can use whatever the hell you want in them and you don't have to panic. This one was very, very fun. I loved how Mermay came out. I loved how the colours all blend together. And then for the background, I just went over with a very cheap, I think it's one of the, I don't know which pencil, well, basically a really, really cheap pencil, and just did a very faint highlight of blue just to kind of tie it all together. And that's it, and that's what I came up with, but really happy with that. So hope you enjoyed today's video, and I shall be back at the end of this next week, and then film my last pages for the month of Mermay, and then we'll be into Troppy June. Troppy June might go into July, might be a Troppy June, Troppy July, but you know, we'll see. Hope you enjoyed that anyway. Bye.